High Counselor Marn returned to his position at the top of the chamber. The other council members took their seats beside him. The chaos had calmed. Aliens slowly returned to their seats, though many kept a careful distance from the humans. Ambassador Kel stood to the side, his forearms crossed in frustration. But he did not speak again. He could not argue with what he had seen. "The Coalition Council has reached a decision," Marn announced. His voice echoed through the massive chamber. "On the matter of humanity's request to join the Galactic Coalition." Tay held his breath. His crew stood close beside him. This was the moment that would decide everything. "We have considered the evidence," Marn continued. "We have seen the scans showing human biological armament. We have heard arguments for and against their acceptance. And we have witnessed, with our own eyes, how humans behave when faced with fear and anger." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle over the room. The coalition was founded on a simple principle. All species, regardless of their differences, can live together in peace. We have accepted predators and prey. We have accepted species who once were enemies. We have accepted beings of fire, water, light, and shadow. He looked down at the 5 humans. Today, we will accept beings of bone and blood. Beings whose very bodies are weapons. Beings who carry the legacy of a violent world, but choose to walk the path of peace. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some sounded relieved. Others sounded worried. But no one shouted. "Humanity is hereby granted provisional membership in the Galactic Coalition," Marn declared. "For a period of 10 standard years, human activity in Coalition space will be monitored. If, during this time, humans prove themselves to be the peaceful species they claim to be, full membership will be granted." Tay felt relief wash over him like a warm wave. They had done it. Not perfectly, not easily, but they had done it. "However," Marn added, "there are conditions." Tay straightened. "Name them." "Humans will receive special training on how to interact with more fragile species. Your strength must be controlled carefully." "We agree," Tay said. "Human visitors to Coalition space must register their presence at all stations. This is for the safety of everyone, including yourselves." "We understand." "And most importantly," Marn said, "humans must serve as an example. You claim your greatest strength is your choice. Prove it, every day, in every action. Show the galaxy that weapons can be tools for peace." Tay nodded solemnly. "We will do our best." Marn smiled again. It was a strange expression on his ancient face. "I believe you will." The session was officially ended. Council members began to leave. Aliens in the audience stood and started filing out. But many of them paused to look at the humans. The fear was still there, but it was mixed with something else now. Curiosity, maybe even hope. Dr. Vell approached the human group. She extended one of her thin gray hands toward Tay. "I do not know what this gesture means to your species," she admitted, "but I have seen humans do it. Is it appropriate?" Tay smiled and took her hand gently. "It is called a handshake. It is a greeting, a sign of trust." They shook hands carefully. Val's grip was weak compared to Tay's, but she did not pull away. "I hope to study your species more," she said. "Not as threats. As partners. There is much we can learn from each other." "We would welcome that," Hana said as they walked out of the chamber. They passed Ambassador Kel. He stood alone, watching them with his dark eyes. Yuna stopped in front of him. "Ambassador," she said, "I understand your fear. Truly. If I were you, I might feel the same way." Kel said nothing. "But fear is not truth," Yuna continued. "Give us a chance to show you who we really are. Not what the scans say, not what the rumors say, but who we actually are." She extended her hand toward him. The same hand that the scans showed could crush bone, Kel stared at the hand for a long moment. Everyone around them held their breath. Slowly, carefully, Kel extended one of his 4 hands and touched hers. It was not quite a handshake, but it was something. A beginning. "We will see," Kel said quietly. Then he turned and walked away. The humans continued to the docking area. Their ship, the Soul, was waiting for them. As they walked through the station, something strange happened. Aliens who had run from them earlier now stood and watched. Some nodded in acknowledgement. One small child even waved. Wu waved back, and the child hid behind her parent with a giggle. "That was unexpected," Bora said. "They are learning," Tay said. "Just like we are." They boarded the ship and settled into their stations. The engines hummed to life. Through the window, they could see the massive coalition station, full of thousands of beings from hundreds of worlds. "Where do we go now, Captain?" Yuna asked. Tay thought about the question. They had come seeking acceptance. They had found it, though not in the way they expected. They had faced fear and answered it with patience. They had shown that the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy could also be the gentlest. "Home," he said finally. "We go home. Earth needs to know what happened here today." As the ship pulled away from the station, Hana looked at the data from her scans still displayed on her personal tablet. 100% armament. That was what the machines saw when they looked at humans. But machines could not see everything. They could not see the kindness in Wu's wave to a child, the patience in Tay's stillness during the chaos, the courage in Yuna's offered hand to an enemy, the wisdom and understanding that true strength was not about what you could destroy, but what you chose to protect. "Do you think they will ever stop being afraid of us?" Bora asked, looking out the window at the shrinking station. Hana thought about it carefully. "Some of them will always be afraid, but others will learn. They will see us build things instead of destroy them. They will see us help instead of hurt. And slowly, person by person, the fear will fade." Tay nodded in agreement. "Our ancestors survived ice ages by working together. They survived predators by protecting each other. They survived themselves by learning to control their anger. That is what made us human. Not our bones, our hearts." The ship entered faster than light travel. The stars stretched into long lines of light. The 5 humans sat in silence, thinking about what had happened. They had come to the galactic community as strangers, as monsters in the eyes of some. But they had left as something else, as members, as partners, as proof that the most dangerous thing in the universe was not a weapon you could not put down. It was the choice you made every single day. The choice to be gentle when you could be violent. The choice to be kind when you could be cruel. The choice to be human, and that, more than any bone or muscle or fist, was what made humanity truly special. The soul flew through the darkness of space, carrying 5 humans back to their world. Behind them, a galaxy was watching, and for the first time in a long time, some of them were not afraid. The council had been gone for over an hour. The humans remained standing in the center of the chamber. Around them, aliens whispered and pointed. The tension in the air was thick enough to feel. Tay kept his face calm, but inside, he was worried. Everything depended on this decision. If the council rejected them, humanity would be locked out of the galactic community. They would be alone in the universe, surrounded by species that feared them. A sudden commotion at one of the side doors caught his attention. Angry voices were shouting. Guards were moving quickly. Ambassador Kel burst into the chamber, followed by a group of other Velith diplomats. They looked furious. "This is unacceptable," Kel shouted to the remaining officials. "While we wait for the council to decide, those things stand among us like they belong here." "Ambassador, please calm down," Dr. Vel said, standing up from her seat. "Calm down?" Cal's voice was high with anger. You saw the scans. You saw what they are made of. Every second they are here, we are in danger. Eunice stepped forward. We have done nothing to threaten anyone. Cal turned on her. His forearms spread wide in a gesture of accusation. You do not need to do anything. Your very existence is a threat. You are weapons that walk and talk and pretend to be civilized. The words hit hard. Bora clenched her fists without thinking. Wu moved slightly into a defensive position. Old instincts, trained into every human, started to surface. Tay noticed his crew tensing. He spoke quickly. Everyone stay calm. Do not react. See. Cal pointed at them. Look at them. Their bodies are already preparing for combat. They cannot help it. Violence is in their blood. More aliens in the chamber began to panic. Some rushed for the exits. Others pressed against walls. Children cried. The fear spread like a disease. Dr. Vell tried to restore order. Everyone, please stay calm. The humans have not made any aggressive moves. But Kel was not finished. He walked closer to Tay, stopping just a few steps away. His black eyes were wide with terror disguised as anger. Do you know what they call your species in other parts of the galaxy? Kel asked. They call you the Bone Walkers, the creatures whose skeletons are made of death. They say you cannot be killed because your very structure is designed to survive anything. Tay met his gaze steadily. We can die just like anyone else. Can you? Kel challenged. Our records show that humans have survived injuries that would kill any other species. Broken limbs, crushed organs, massive blood loss. You keep going. You keep fighting. Like machines that do not know when to stop. Hannah spoke up. We feel pain just like you do. We just do not give up easily. That is exactly what makes you terrifying. Cal exclaimed. A normal enemy, you can defeat them. Break their body, and they stop. But humans? You break their bodies, and they still come. You take their weapons, and they become the weapon. You are nightmares made real. The chamber was in chaos now. Half the audience had fled. Those who remained were pressing toward the exits. Guards were trying to maintain order, but failing. In the middle of it all, the humans stood still. They did not run. They did not fight. They just stood there. Wu leaned toward Tay. Captain, maybe we should leave. This situation is getting dangerous. No, Tay said firmly. If we run, we prove them right. We stay. Bora was struggling to control herself. Her training told her to fight or flee. Her heart was pounding. Her muscles were tight. But she trusted her captain. How do you stay so calm? She asked Tay quietly. I am not calm, he admitted. I am terrified. But I will not let fear control me. That is what makes us different from what they think we are. Cal had not stopped talking. He was now addressing the entire chamber. The council is making a mistake. They should not let these creatures into our society. Once they are among us, how long before they turn violent? How long before they start using those weapons they carry? Ambassador! A new voice cut through the chaos. Everyone turned. High Councilor Marn stood at the entrance to the council chambers. The other 6 council members were behind him. They had heard everything. Ambassador Cal, Marn said again, his voice heavy with authority. You will be silent. Cal's mouth closed. Even in his anger, he could not defy the High Councilor directly. Marn walked slowly into the chamber. His 3 eyes moved across the scene. The panicking aliens. The frightened children. The guards struggling to maintain control. And in the center, 5 humans standing perfectly still. We have watched, Marn said. We have watched this entire display from the council room. He stopped in front of Tay. Despite being smaller, Marn carried himself with the weight of centuries of leadership. Ambassador Kell speaks of what humans can do, Marn continued. He speaks of your bodies as weapons. Your strength. Your resilience. Your capacity for violence. He paused and looked at the other humans. Yuna, with her steady eyes. Hana, who had spoken so eloquently. Bora, whose fists were still clenched but unused. Wu, whose body was ready for combat but had not moved. But I see something different, Marn said. I see 5 beings who have been insulted, threatened, and surrounded by enemies. 5 beings whose every instinct tells them to fight. And yet they stand here, still and quiet, waiting for justice. He turned to face the chamber. His voice rose so all could hear. You ask, what makes humans dangerous? I will tell you. It is not their bones or their muscles or their survival instincts. It is their choice. They choose to be dangerous. And right now, in this moment, they are choosing not to be. The chamber slowly grew quiet. Aliens stopped running. Guards lowered their weapons slightly. I have lived for 300 years, Marn said. I have seen many species. Predators who cannot control their hunger. Warriors who cannot stop fighting. Conquerors who cannot imagine peace. But I have never seen a species of warriors who stand still when attacked by words. He looked at Kell. You wanted to prove humans are dangerous, Ambassador. Instead, you proved they have something far more powerful than weapons. They have discipline. They have choice. They have control. Kell opened his mouth to argue, but nothing came out. He had no response. Marn turned back to the humans. The council has made its decision. But before I announce it, I want to ask you one question. Captain Tay. Tay nodded. Ask, when Ambassador Kell was shouting at you, calling your species names, trying to make you angry, what did you want to do? Tay was silent for a moment. Then he answered honestly. I wanted to show him that we are not monsters. But I knew that nothing I could say would change his mind. Only what I did not do could prove him wrong. He paused. So I did nothing. And I will keep doing nothing until someone gives me a reason to do something else. Marn studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, the ancient alien smiled. That, Captain, is the most human answer you could have given. The waiting room was cold and gray. There were no windows, only smooth metal walls and a single door that was locked from outside. The 5 humans sat on hard benches and waited. Hours passed. No one came to tell them anything. Tay stood near the door, listening for sounds outside. Yuna paced back and forth. Hana sat quietly, thinking about everything that had happened. What do you think they are doing out there? Bor asked. Talking about us, Duri said. He had joined them when the guards brought food. Deciding if we are dangerous. We are dangerous, Wu said flatly. That is the problem. Tay turned away from the door. We are only dangerous if we choose to be. They need to understand that. The door suddenly opened. Dr. Vell walked in, followed by 2 guards. She looked tired but determined. The council wants to see you, she said. All of you. They have questions. They were led through long corridors. More aliens stopped and stared. Some ran away when they saw the humans coming. Others pressed against walls to keep distance. The fear was everywhere now. Word had spread across the entire station. The council chamber was a massive circular room. Seats rose up in rings around a central platform. Hundreds of aliens sat in those seats. Every species in the coalition was represented. Some were huge. Some were tiny. Some looked like animals. Some looked like plants. Some looked like nothing Tay had ever seen. At the highest point sat 7 beings. They were the Coalition Council, the leaders of the galaxy. Humans, said the one in the center. He was ancient-looking, with wrinkled gray skin and 3 eyes. I am High Counselor Marn. You stand before the Coalition Council to answer questions about your nature. Do you understand? We understand, Tay said clearly. Marn pressed a button, and the scan results appeared on huge screens around the chamber. Every alien could see the human skeleton. Every alien could see the data about bone density, muscle force, and biological weapons. Our scientists have confirmed Dr. Vell's findings, Marn continued. Your species is naturally armed with biological weapons that cannot be removed. This is unprecedented in Coalition history. A different counselor spoke. She was from the Vela species, like Ambassador Kel. Every species in the Coalition has agreed to disarm before entering stations and meeting areas. You cannot comply with this rule. Your weapons are inside you. We did not choose this, Una said. We were born this way. That does not change the facts, the Velith counselor replied. Another counselor, a large being made entirely of floating rocks, rumbled deeply. Perhaps we should simply ban humans from Coalition space. They are too dangerous to allow among peaceful species. Murmurs of agreement spread through the chamber. Tay felt his heart sink. They were losing this argument. Hana suddenly stepped forward. May I speak? The council looked at her with surprise. She was the smallest of the humans, young and quiet, but her eyes were steady. You may speak, High Counselor Marn said. Hana took a deep breath. She activated her portable computer and connected it to the chamber's display system. New images appeared on the screens. I am a medical officer, she began. I study the human body. I know every bone, every muscle, every system. Let me show you something. She brought up an image of human anatomy. Yes, our bones are dense. Yes, our bodies can cause damage. But look closer. She zoomed in on the human hand. This hand can form a fist. It can punch. It can break things. But this same hand can also do this. She showed images of human hands doing other things. A hand holding a baby gently. A hand painting a picture. A hand playing music on an instrument. A hand writing words on paper. A hand reaching out to help someone up. Our hands evolved to be many things, Hana said. Tools for building. Instruments for creating art. Extensions of our hearts for showing love. She changed the image to the human skull. You see our skull as armor, as a weapon for headbutts. But inside this skull is our brain. The organ that imagines, dreams, and creates. The organ that chooses peace over war. She showed more images. Humans building cities. Humans making music. Humans caring for sick people. Humans helping each other after disasters. We are not just weapons, Hana said. We are artists, teachers, healers, parents. The chamber was quiet. Aliens were watching with new attention. Hana continued. You want to know what humans really are? We are survivors. Our planet tried to kill us every day. Ice ages froze us. Diseases attacked us. Predators hunted us. We survived because we were strong. But we also survived because we worked together. She brought up one more image. It was a photograph from Earth. Humans of different ages and backgrounds standing together, smiling. Our greatest weapon is not our bones, Hana said. It is our ability to cooperate, to form groups, to protect each other, to build communities. She turned to face the council directly. You fear what we can destroy, but you should see what we can build. The chamber erupted in whispers. Aliens were talking to each other. Some still looked scared, but others looked thoughtful. High Counselor Marn raised a hand for silence. Your words are interesting, he said, but they do not change the fundamental problem. You are still dangerous. Tay stepped forward. Every species has the capacity for violence, he said. Look around this room. I see claws that can tear flesh, teeth that can crush bone, poisons that can kill in seconds, minds that can control others. Yet you all sit here together in peace." He gestured to the guards around the room. "You carry weapons to protect yourselves, but you choose when to use them. We are the same. Our weapons are built into us, but we still choose when to use them. And how do we know you will always choose peace?" The Velith counselor demanded. "You do not," Tay admitted honestly. "Just as we do not know if you will always choose peace. Trust must be built over time, through actions, not words." Dr. Vel stood up from her seat in the audience. "If I may, High Counselor." Marn nodded. "I have spent my life studying alien biology," she said. "I have never seen a species quite like humans. They are dangerous, yes, but I have also seen something else in them today." She looked at the 5 humans standing in the center of the chamber. When our guards pointed weapons at them, they did not fight. They raised their hands. They allowed themselves to be scanned, questioned, and locked in a room. These are not the actions of creatures who want war. She paused. Perhaps we should judge them not by what they are capable of, but by what they choose to do. The chamber fell silent again. The council members looked at each other. This decision would shape the future of the galaxy. High Counselor Marn finally spoke. "We will take a short break to discuss. You will remain here." The council members left through a back door. The humans were left standing in the middle of the chamber, surrounded by hundreds of watching aliens. Yuna moved closer to Tay. "Do you think we convinced them?" Tay looked at the faces around them. Some were still filled with fear, but others showed something different: curiosity, interest, maybe even the beginnings of respect. "I do not know," he said, "but I think Hannah gave them something to think about." Hannah smiled a little. "I just told them the truth. Humans are complicated. We can be terrible, but we can also be wonderful." They waited in silence for the council to return. The future of humanity's place in the galaxy hung in the balance, and somewhere in the back of the chamber, a small alien child pointed at the humans and whispered to her parent, "They look just like us. Why is everyone so scared?" Her parent did not have a good answer. The security room had become very quiet. Every alien in the room was staring at the 5 humans. The guards still held their weapons up, but their hands were shaking. They did not know what to do with creatures whose entire bodies were classified as armament. "Ambassador." Kel spoke into a small device on his wrist. His voice was fast and nervous. He was calling for help. More security. More officials. Maybe even soldiers. Not Tay kept his hands raised. He spoke calmly to his crew. "Everyone stay still. Do not make any sudden moves." "Captain," Wu whispered, "this is not good. They look ready to shoot us." "They will not shoot," Tay said quietly. "They are scared. Scared people make mistakes. But they are also curious. They want to understand." Within minutes, the room filled with more aliens. Scientists came with more scanning equipment. Military officers came with bigger weapons. Politicians came with worried faces. Everyone wanted to see the humans who were made of weapons. A new alien pushed through the crowd. She was from a species called Demethany. She was tall and thin, almost like a stick. Her skin was gray and smooth. Her eyes were yellow and very intelligent. She wore a white coat that showed she was a scientist. "I am Dr. Vel," she said. Her voice was sharp but curious. "I am the head of biological research on this station. I want to run more detailed scans. With your permission." Tay looked at his crew. They nodded. They had nothing to hide. "Go ahead," Tay said. Dr. Vel set up her equipment. It was more advanced than the security scanners. It could see inside the body in great detail. Every bone, every muscle, every organ. Who will go first? She asked. I will, Hannah said. She stepped onto the scanning platform. As a medical officer, she understood what the doctor was looking for. She wanted to help explain. The scanning light was green this time. It moved slowly over Hannah's body. On a large screen, her entire skeleton appeared. 206 bones, all glowing bright white. Dr. Vell made a strange sound. It was something between a gasp and a whisper. Incredible, she said. What do you see? Ambassador Kell asked. He was standing far away from the humans now. The density, Dr. Vell said. Human bones are extremely dense. Much denser than most species in the coalition. She pointed at the screen. Look at the femur, the thigh bone. In most species, this bone is hollow or filled with soft tissue. In humans, it is solid, strong. It could support the weight of a ground vehicle. She moved to another part of the scan. And here, the hands. The image showed Hannah's hand bones in detail. 27 bones in each hand. Each one is hard and sharp at the edges. When formed into a fist, Dr. Vell made a simulation on the screen. The hand bones came together into a fist. The image showed the force it could produce. This fist could crack the skull of a Gorth, she said quietly. The Gorth guards in the room stepped back. They were the biggest and toughest species on the station. And a human fist could break their heads. Continue the scan, Kell ordered. His voice was weak now. Dr. Vell scanned the skull next. The human skull is like natural armor, she explained. Multiple bones fused together. It protects the brain from impact. A human can hit their head against a wall and survive. They can use their head as a weapon. We call it a headbutt, Una said. A small smile was on her face. The aliens did not find it funny. The scan moved to the teeth. 32 teeth appeared on the screen. Some flat for grinding. Some sharp for tearing. Omnivore teeth, Dr. Vell said. Humans can eat almost anything. Plants. Meat. They evolved from creatures that hunted and killed their food with these teeth. Hannah stepped off the platform. Tay went next. His scan showed the same results. Then Una. Then Bora. Then Wu. Every human had the same dense bones. The same dangerous fists. The same crushing skulls. Dr. Vell compiled all the data. She put it on the main screen for everyone to see. The room was completely silent as they looked at the results. The security scanner was correct, she announced. Human bodies are 100% armament. Their skeletons alone are more dangerous than the weapons many species carry. And that is not all. She brought up more data. Human muscles are attached to these bones with strong tendons. When a human throws a punch, the force comes from the entire body. Legs, hips, core, shoulder, arm, all working together. The impact can break bones, rupture organs, or kill. How is this possible? A politician asked. How did they evolve to be so? Violent? Hannah answered. Earth is a dangerous planet. We had predators everywhere. Big cats, bears, wolves. We also had diseases, natural disasters, and limited resources. Humans who were not strong did not survive. Over millions of years, we became what we are. But you have technology now, Dr. Vell said. Ships, computers, medicine. Why keep these? Weapons? We cannot remove them, Hannah said. They are part of us. Our bones are not just weapons. They protect our organs, help us move, store minerals. Without them, we would die. Ambassador Kell finally spoke. So you are telling us that every human, from the moment they are born, carries weapons that cannot be removed? Yes, Tay said simply. And you brought 5 such weapons onto this station? We brought 5 diplomats, Tay corrected. We did not come here to fight. We came here to talk, to make peace, To join the coalition. Kel shook his head slowly. How can we trust you? How can we allow weapons like you to walk freely on this station? The question hung in the air. Other aliens nodded. They agreed with Kel. Humans were dangerous. Maybe too dangerous. Tay took a deep breath. He lowered his hands and looked directly at Ambassador Kel. You ask how you can trust us, he said. Look at us. We are here. We walked onto your station. We allowed your scans. We raised our hands when your guards pointed guns at us. We could have fought. We could have used these bodies you fear so much. But we did not. He paused to let his words sink in. Humans have always been dangerous. We know this better than anyone. We fought wars against each other for thousands of years. We know what our bodies can do. But we also learned something important. Fighting does not solve problems. It only creates more. Una stepped forward to stand beside her captain. We choose peace, she said. Every day, we make that choice. It is not because we are weak. It is because we are strong enough to choose differently. Dr. Vell was looking at the humans with new eyes now. Not fear, something else. Respect, maybe. They carry weapons they cannot put down, she said softly, and yet they choose not to use them. That takes more strength than carrying a gun. Ambassador Kel was not convinced. But he was thinking. The entire room was thinking. Finally, Kel spoke. The Coalition Council must decide what to do with you. Until then, you will remain under guard. Do not try to leave. Tay nodded. We understand. As they were led to a waiting area, Bora whispered to Wu, Do you think they will let us join the coalition? Wu looked at the scared faces of the aliens around them. I do not know, he admitted. But I think we made them see something today. Something important. Hana walked beside them, her mind still processing everything. The scans had shown what humans were made of. But scans could not show what was in their hearts. That was something the aliens would have to learn on their own. And that lesson was just beginning. The ship came out of faster-than-light travel with a soft hum. Captain Tay stood at the front window of the bridge and looked at the massive station floating in space. It was the biggest thing he had ever seen. The Galactic Coalition station was like a small moon made of metal and glass. Thousands of lights blinked on its surface. Ships of all sizes moved around it like small fish around a whale. We are here, said Una, his second in command. She walked up and stood next to him. Her eyes were fixed on the station, the center of the galaxy's politics. Every species sends their best here. Tay nodded slowly. Humans were new to space. They had only discovered faster-than-light travel 50 years ago. In that short time, they had met many alien species. Some were friendly. Some were not. But all of them looked at humans with a strange mix of fear and curiosity. Prepare the crew, Tay said. We need to look professional. This meeting is important for Earth. The ship, named the Soul, moved closer to the station. It was a small ship compared to the alien vessels around it. But it was strong and fast. Humans built things to last. In the lower deck, Medical Officer Hana was checking her equipment. She was young but very skilled. Her job was to keep the crew healthy, but today she had another task. She would be part of the diplomatic team. Are you nervous? Asked Uri, the ship's engineer. He was a big man with kind eyes. His hands were rough from years of fixing machines. Hana smiled a little. Maybe a little. I have never met so many alien species before. Just remember, Duri said, we are humans. We survived ice ages, wars, diseases, and ourselves. A few aliens will not scare us. Hana laughed softly. Duri always knew how to make people feel better. The ship docked at the station with a gentle bump. The airlock doors opened with a hiss. Tay was the first to step out, followed by Yuna, Hana, and 2 security officers named Bora and Wu. They wore simple uniforms. No armor, no visible weapons. This was a peace meeting. After all, the docking area was huge. The ceiling was so high that clouds could form inside. Aliens of all shapes and sizes walked around. Some had 4 legs. Some had wings. Some floated in the air. Some looked like they were made of liquid. A group of officials was waiting for them. They were from a species called the Velith. They had long necks, blue skin, and 4 arms. Their eyes were large and black, like deep pools of water. "Welcome, humans," said the lead official. His voice was smooth but cold. "I am Ambassador Kel. We have been expecting you." Tay noticed the pause. He noticed the way the ambassador looked at them. There was fear in those big black eyes. But why? Humans had done nothing wrong. "Thank you, Ambassador," Tay said politely. "We are honored to be here." "Before we proceed," Kel said, "there's a matter of security. All species must go through weapon screening. It is standard procedure." "Of course," Tay agreed. "We have nothing to hide." They walked through long hallways. The walls were white and clean. Other aliens stopped and stared as the humans passed. Whispers followed them like shadows. "Why are they looking at us like that?" Bora whispered to Wu. "I heard rumors," Wu whispered back. "Some aliens think humans are dangerous." "Very dangerous. Us?" Bora almost laughed. "We are the smallest delegation here. We do not even have weapons." They reached the security area. It was a large room with strange machines. Lights blinked everywhere. Alien guards stood at every corner. They held weapons that looked like they could destroy a building. "Please step onto the scanning platform," a guard said. He was from a species called the Gorth. He was tall and covered in thick scales. His teeth were sharp like knives. Tay stepped onto the platform first. A blue light moved over his body from head to toe. The machine made a soft sound. Then it made another sound. Then the screen next to it started flashing red. The guards immediately raised their weapons. Every gun in the room pointed at Tay. "Do not move," the Gorth guard growled. "The scan shows you are carrying armament." Tay raised his hand slowly. His heart was beating fast, but his face stayed calm. "There must be a mistake. I'm not carrying any weapons." "The machine does not lie," Ambassador Kel said. His voice was shaking now. "It says armament detected. 100% of your body is classified as armament." Yuna stepped forward. "That is impossible. We left all weapons on the ship. We came in peace." "Scan her too," Kel ordered. Yuna stepped onto the platform. The same thing happened. Red lights. Warning sounds. 100% armament. One by one, they scanned Hana, Bora. Every single human showed the same result. Their entire bodies were classified as weapons. The room was tense. Guards were sweating. Some aliens in the hallway had started running away. Word was spreading fast through the station. The humans were made of weapons. "Explain this," Kel demanded. His 4 hands were shaking. "What are you?" Tay looked at his crew. They were just as confused as the aliens. Then he looked at Hana. She was the medical officer. If anyone could explain, it was her. Hana stepped forward slowly. She raised her hands to show she meant no harm. "May I see the scan results?" she asked quietly. A technician, a small creature with many eyes, nervously turned the screen toward her. Hana looked at the data. Her eyes moved quickly. Then she understood, and she almost laughed. "Captain," she said, "the machine is working correctly." "What do you mean?" Tay asked. "It is scanning for materials that can be used as weapons," Ha explained. "Dense materials, hard materials, things that can cut, crush, or break. And? Una asked. Hannah turned to face the aliens. She spoke clearly so everyone could hear. Human bones are made of calcium and collagen. They are very dense, very hard. The machine is detecting our skeletons. The room went silent. Your skeletons? Kel repeated slowly. Yes, Hannah said. Human bones can take a lot of force. Our fists can break other bones. Our skulls can crack stone. Our teeth can tear through meat. The machine sees our skeleton as a weapon because it is. Kel took a step back. The guards gripped their weapons tighter, but they did not know what to do. How do you disarm someone of their own bones? Tay understood now why aliens feared humans. It was not because of their guns or bombs. It was because humans were built for survival, built for fighting. Every human carried a weapon inside their own body, and they had walked into the most important political station in the galaxy with 100% armament. The situation was about to get very interesting.